Yeah, Jamie. So the difference between Steve's live shot and Snoqualmie Pass, where all the snow is, the difference, as you mentioned, is going to be the gusty winds, and you definitely feel it here in Bellingham and Whatcom County. Really, the gusty winds have been off and on throughout most of the afternoon. We're right along the water here. The water is pretty choppy out there, but overall, the winds just keep on going off and on. We haven't seen any really wind damage throughout Whatcom County or the Bellingham area, but this is just a small taste of what's expected over the next few days. Which is why the city of Bellingham is ready to go at a moment's notice. The city says they've got 2,000 tons of salt, 1,000 tons of sand, 20,000 gallons of salt brine that was made all during the summer season. And to carry all that stuff, they got 5 sander and plow trucks and 2 smaller trucks ready to hit the streets as well over the next few days. In terms of personnel, they have a staff of about 40 workers ready to go once the heavier stuff, I'm talking about the snow and the wind and the rain, arrives later this weekend and into next week. Basically, the city's game plan is this. If the roads happen to be dry, even enough for 30 minutes, they say, they're going to apply that salt brine on the streets, and after that, it's going to be a mixture of salt and sand. But while the roads are one thing, the city is very concerned, and Jamie talked about this during the top of the newscast. They're very concerned about the forecasted frigid temperatures and winds.
That is our main concern, and we've been talking about the last couple of days is getting word out to people to know that when it gets down to 8 degrees, you need to have a blanket in your car, you need to have some extra water, you need to be prepared for whatever may come. When it's that cold, you can't survive that long out in those elements.
Yeah, so speaking of preparations, we saw people getting what they needed at a local Fred Meyer store. The parking lot was just packed full of cars, and so were the lines apparently inside the store. People, though, we talked to didn't seem to mind what's ahead.
You just got, necessities. Look at chamomile tea, a bottle of wine.
Oh, there you go.
A new dog toy. Yeah.
What about a shovel or anything like that?
We got all that stuff. We're ready.
Crazy lines. Yeah. Even in the self-serve where you go through, it's really a big crowd. It is what it is, Yeah. I spent all my time on the mountain anyway, so I mean, yeah.
Now, the city says one lesson they took from last year's snowpocalypse was the amount of salt they have. They basically have a lot more than last year. They say they have enough salt for a 4-week snow event just in case. They've also upped their storage and efficiency when it comes to response. But guys, talk about game time. I know we're talking about the Seahawks this weekend, but for a lot of the city crews, a lot of the county crews, this is also game time for them as well. It's also game time for us here at Q13. We're going to be on Weather Watch all weekend long and into next week as well, so keep it right here. We're live here in Bellingham. Brian Flores, Q13 News. Back to you in the warm and cozy studio.
Yeah, chamomile.